Guardian Devil by Crystal Michael. It's mid-November, and in the heated mall, many tables are taken up by large jackets and hats. It's busy as usual on a Friday afternoon, and there are people everywhere. The mixture of conversations in the food court hum around me and my friend Leaf as we find a table off to the side. Typically, I don't go to the mall, but Leaf works in one of the stores, so we eat lunch together occasionally. Any place with large crowds are areas I avoid, but it couldn't be helped. I would do anything for my best friend. Suffer while he's happy. What do you mean you can't come? I ask him with a French fry poised to dip. He brought up the fact that he won't be able to make it to my house for our game night. Since college had started back up, we barely have time with any of our other friends. So once a month we get together to eat, drink, play games, and forget about our problems. I have to cancel. I have a date. Leaf smirks around a mouthful of burger. Someone who thinks I'm dating material. I raise an eyebrow at him and tilt my head to the side. There was something different about him. His usually messy auburn hair is styled in a high bun. His shirt looks washed, and he even changed his gauges. Why the hell are you looking at me so hard? I jerk out of my observation to see Leaf raising an eyebrow at me. His cheeks and neck are red. His food was gone, and he is currently stealing fries from my plate. Nothing, and stop stealing my damn food. I bat his hand away, and some of the fries drop to the floor. I lean over to pick them up, knowing he'd take advantage of eating more of my food. His muffled laughter proves me right. As I strain, I notice a guy walk into the food court. He glances around the crowd while blocking the entryway. Unlike everyone else in the food court, he's wearing clothes for a warmer climate. He looks out of the place here, and it shows by the way the room quiets. He is gorgeous, and he is walking this way. I'm captivated by the way he moves. It is almost as if he is floating. His tattoos move as he reaches up to push his sunglasses to rest on his sun-bleached hair. His face is proud and fearless as he looks about the room. Hot damn. Leaf turns in his seat, looking behind him to see what I'm staring at. His body tenses in his seat as he looks around the room, but when he catches sight of the guy, his body relaxes. He turns back to me and he's grinning, yet the red seems to be darker. I straighten in my seat. The guy pulls a chair from an unoccupied table and straddles it next to Leaf. The guy reaches across the table and snatches some of my fries. Excuse me, who? The guy cuts me off. So this the chick you don't screw? He drawls, taking a long swig of my drink. My eyebrows furrow at his actions and I snatch my drink from his hand. I slam it down on the table and glare. Leaf tugs on his ear as he watches our exchange. The guy shrugs and swipes Leaf's drink. He takes a deep sip as he looks Leaf over. He isn't sizing Leaf up. It's more of a possessive and sexual glance over. It is heated enough to make me squirm in my seat. Ahem. Well, Hayden, that's a great first impression. Leaf laughs loudly and drifts off quietly. Hayden gives me a lazy glance over. He looks away, dismissing me without a care. My eye twitches and my jaw aches from clenching it. I made an impression on you when I saved your hot ass. Hayden says and grabs Leaf by his shirt roughly. He pulls Leaf to kiss him and kisses him hard. Leaf looks over at me while biting his lip as he toys with his tray. That you did, Leaf whispers. My guardian angel. Do you want to tell me how y'all met, or are you going to keep just ignoring me? I snap at Leaf. Well, do you remember last month when I lost my phone at the bar? Well, Hayden had found it and gave it to the bartender, and when I came looking for it, I was so excited I bumped into a homophobe. The guy was huge. He could have taken on the Rock easily. He could have made the Rock a bottom with ease. Anyway, the guy was about to punch my lights out, and when Hayden jumped in, totally knocked the guy out with a pool stick upside the head. It was so hot and sexy and primal, and then he went to his place, and then, Leaf scratches his neck, grabs my drink, and takes a sip without looking between us. Then I ran him with the thickest he's ever had. Hayden sneers, causing Leaf to choke on a drink. I stand up, grab my wallet, and frown down at Leaf. Be careful on your date, Leaf. Don't do anything dangerous, I tell him. I turn to glare at Hayden. If you hurt him, if you so much as talk to him with a raised voice, I'll kill you. Hayden licks his lips suggestively and turns his attention back to Leaf. Put your phone down, it's your turn. I look up from my phone to see everyone staring at me. I check my phone one more time, knowing that I have no messages from Leaf. I haven't heard from him since the other day at the mall. I've tried texting and calling. I've even shown up at his apartment, but he wasn't home. It wasn't unusual for him to disappear for a night or two, but something was bothering me. Haven bothers me. Allie, go! One of my very drunk friends says. I roll my eyes and stick my phone under my thigh and scoot up in my chair. I'll draw a black card from the top of the deck and read it aloud. It gets a few chuckles and the white cards are given to me. The owner of the best card is the only one that doesn't have to take a shot. After a couple hours of shooting back shots, my house is filled with completely sloshed friends. They are sprawled on the table, under the table, in the bathtub, and everywhere in the living room. Hushed conversations are taking place as I lock everyone's keys in a safe for the night. Due to my ridiculously high tolerance for alcohol, I am still sober. I have no excuse to be calling Leaf at 3 in the morning. Yet, here I am, calling for the umpteenth time. I can't come to the phone right now. Call back or leave a message. Leaf's voice drifts from the speaker on my phone. I hang up without leaving a message and sit on the stairs. There is no particular reason for feeling the way I am. My heart seems to be beating a little faster than normal, and my chest is tight. Heat fills my chest, mixing with shots of rum inside me. It is different from the usual heat alcohol causes. I lean back on my steps, the rough carpet biting into my lower exposed back. I should look into replacing the carpet eventually. Closing my eyes, I take a deep breath. I'm at my own party. I shouldn't be a bad host. Yo, Allie, don't look like such a downer. I open my eyes to see one of the partygoers leaning over the railing. I don't recognize him, but friends of friends sometimes show up at my game nights. Here, drink this. It'll take your mind off whatever's making you look, well, honestly like shit. The person holds the traditional red cup of parties down to me. He sloshes whatever is inside in a gesture for me to take it. Well, damn, thanks. He laughs and holds out his hand for me to take. I take it with a raised eyebrow and he squeezes gently. My name is Greg. I'm Tasha's friend. He introduces himself and once again holds out the cup. As a general rule, I don't normally take drinks I haven't poured, but I need to let loose for at least an hour. I take the cup and glance at it with a raised brow. It looks like water. I take a small sip. My chest bursts into flames, and the drink sprays from my lips in a shocking cough. The cough causes the drink to go down the wrong way, and I cough until tears are running down my face. What the hell is that? I sputter. Greg grins, takes the cup back, and downs the rest of the contents. His cheeks and neck instantly become flushed. He smiles wistfully at the cup and hums a little. That, my dear, was Devil Springs vodka. 151 proof diluted with pineapple juice. Oh my goodness, man, you're trying to kill me. I laugh and rub my chest lightly to get rid of the lingering heat. Wuss, you're just like... My phone begins to ring, cutting him off. A quick glance at the screen shows Lee's smiling face. The heat from the alcohol disappears quickly. I push myself off the stairs and away from the vodka lover. Leaf? Sorry for messaging and calling so much, but I was worried. I know you have some crazy nights with your partners and probably recovering. I'm glad you're calling. I want to know all about your date. Actually, I'm having game night. Why don't you come over? Everyone was wondering where you are, and there's a drink you have to try. It's horrible. You'll love it. Plus you make game night so much better. So what do you say? It's not too late to come over. I pause for Leaf to speak, but there's silence on the other end. Or not, you know. Take your days to recover. Leaf? Aaliyah. Leaf's voice drifts through the speaker, almost inaudible. I turn up the volume as high as it can go and press it closer to my ear. Aaliyah. Help. Home. Please. The line goes dead and I stare at my phone for a few seconds in shocked confusion. Hey, are you okay? Greg asks. I gotta go. That was Leaf. Something's wrong. I look around at my friends laying around in oblivion. They will be okay for a few hours without me. Make sure no one does anything stupid while I'm gone, please. All the keys are locked up, so no one will be driving home, so you won't have to worry about that. I look at Greg, waiting for a reply. I'll make sure no one chokes on their vomit in your absence. Go do what you need to do, he tells me with a small push towards the door. My knock on Leaf's apartment sounded loud in the quiet building. The light down the hall hums loudly. The white walls are yellow from the streetlights outside, and the gray carpet looks grungy. I pound on the metal door again, bruising my knuckles in the process. The door, a couple of feet down, creaks open, and an older man peeks out. He glares at me and makes an obscene gesture before slamming his door shut. I roll my eyes and knock even harder, making sure even the neighbor hears it. I pull my spare key from the pocket and unlock the door. The door sticks and I push against it so it opens. The hallway lights brighten up the dark room slightly. I push my way inside the entrance and flick on the lights. I come to an abrupt stop. The cream carpet is saturated in red. The glass coffee table is shattered, and in the midst of the glass is a slumped figure. My heart thuds in my throat as I creep forward. My hand clutches the keys while my other hand finds itself in front of my mouth. The drinks lurch in my stomach as I squat on the glass. The excessive amount of saliva in my mouth and the light tightening in my stomach has me breathing slowly through my nose. I reach out with a shaking hand to roll him over. I have to see his face. I have to know if what I'm seeing was true. It can't be. Aaliyah. Leaf's soft voice comes from behind me. I spin around to see him curled up in a corner with his arms wrapped around himself. His hair hangs around his face in a messy tangle, and blood is splattered across his cheek. He's rocking slightly as he looks at me with wide eyes. Aaliyah, what did I do? What did I do? Leaf? I look back at the person on the floor. My eyes are adjusting to the dim light, and under the blood, I can see tattoos. The same ones I had been ogling a few days ago. The ones that belonged on a guy twice the size of Leaf, and looks like he could have bench pressed him. I turn him over, and his eyes are milky as I stare at nothing. His blonde hair is stained with blood. His face looks innocent, far from the sternness he had when we met. I look back at Leaf, my stomach squeezing tight. What happened to Hayden? I whisper. I didn't mean to, Aaliyah. I swear I didn't. He was talking about you badly. Like, really bad. He had no right saying the things he was. None whatsoever. I asked him to stop, and he started taunting me. He was saying really nasty things about our relationship. He wouldn't stop. He just kept talking and talking about the things he would do to you. That you wouldn't like it at first, but then you'd be begging for him. I couldn't stand it. He kept going and going and going, and I couldn't take it anymore. I just got so angry. I told him to leave, and he refused, and I pushed him. Leaf looks at Hayden, and I see him swallow hard. I think I surprised him. He just fell. He went right through the table. It was such a nice table you gave me. He ruined it. I tried to help him, I swear. But then he laughed. He said I was a pussy, and I stabbed him. I stabbed him until he stopped laughing. Tears started falling down Leaf's face as he uncrosses his arms to reveal the bloody knife he had used. I sigh deeply, stand up, and survey the room. The mess is concentrated around the broken table, so it would be relatively easy to clean. I scratch the side of my face as I think of the best way to transport the body outside of the apartment. Plus, we'll have to get rid of the stained carpet and the knife. I kneel next to Leaf and wipe the blood off his cheek with my thumb. I brush his hair away from his eyes and press my head against his. It's okay. We'll get through this together. I need you to pull yourself together first so we can clean this up, okay? Do you think you can do that? I ask. Leaf smiles and nods, wiping his face with his hands. I help him up and we get to work, erasing what he had done. Looking up the dark sky, I close my eyes and take a deep breath. The light breeze lifts the loose strands of my hair so they tickle my face. Goosebumps slowly raise on my arms and the wind picks up. It's too cold to be outside at night, yet here I was, standing in nothing but a tank top and shorts. Opening my eyes, I see the stars splatter the darkness in chaotic beauty. I follow the streams of moonlight through the silver clouds to the movement on the lake surface. It should have been beautiful. At any other time, I would have been trying to capture the beauty that is nature. I would have been, if it weren't for the mangled body at my feet. I sighing and look down at the body of Hayden, knowing I need to get this over with. I gesture for Leaf to help me lift the bag Hayden's body is in. After a few minutes of struggling, we manage to place it onto the boat. We add more bags that hold the broken table, the carpet, and, of course, the knife. The captain of the boat walks up to us and crosses his arms over his chest. My back straightens as he looks us over. He rolls his eyes and holds out his hand. I reach into my pocket and pull out a wad of cash, a month's worth of paychecks rolled up nice and neat so that the boat carries away the evidence. The captain takes the money and walks off, leaving us standing on the dock in silence. We haven't spoken since we left his apartment. Leaf, I'm still upset with you, I say as the boat starts to sail away from us. Watching the water ripple, I sigh deeply. You need to get that anger under check. Leaf hugs me from the side and shudders when I tilt his head up so I can look at him. You can't go around stabbing people that say bad things. You need to control yourself. He hugs me tightly and releases me with a sigh. We start back to his car in silence. I open the passenger door and look back towards the distancing boat. I sigh deeply and let my head fall back before shooting a look at Leaf. You owe me that money back, Leaf. I can't keep doing this every time. I tell him as I get in the car. I know. I'm really sorry. I really did try to stop. Leaf says as he starts the car. Warm air comes from the vent and I use it to heat up my fingers. I know you try. You always try. Just try a little harder. I smile at him. Let's go back home. I'm sure game night is still going on. You need to try a drink that Greg gave me. Is he cute? Leaf asks as we start to drive back home. I raise an eyebrow at him. Keep it in check, Leaf. Keep it in check. I say. I will, because I have my own guardian devil that will help me. He laughs.